Well, sometimes you just know who your mom is, and it looks like little Chaim has chosen Sachi, and that's who he seems to want to be with, pushing the other little one out of his way, but seems happy with this mom. We'll see how this relationship goes. There will be still some other foster moms introduced, and so we'll see who he ends up with. But throwing a little bit of a tantrum there, mom's still holding on to him, and just to make sure he knows that he's got comfort if he needs it.
We have Vera grooming time. So I let Mulan out this afternoon. So we've still got Cosimo and Poda. So they are bonded. Mulan very much wanted to be a mom, but babies don't really want her. And Chaim seemed a bit lonely, not really having a mom and just not really having comfort. So I'm letting in some other monkeys, and now with Reva, I very much like this. He's getting some grooms, he's getting some love. At first he was scared of her, just screaming when she would come. I think he's calmed down now. So she is 3 years old, I think, so not quite old enough to be a mom yet. But just good as a babysitter, giving some affection to him. And let's see who else we can get in for this little boy. Getting some love from Babakul and Diane through the fence now. And Vera and Cosimo. So we've got Epona inside now. She's never been a mommy, but she was very interested in Chaim. Gave him a big hug when she came in and has been following him a little bit, grooming. He's also just very independent. Like if they want to groom and carry him, he wriggles out of their grasp. Doesn't want it. But he seems more calm with them. I'm joining Pola and Cosimo up on the perch. And they just got food and Epona is digging in. So I think she is actually a bit more higher ranking than Pola, so it makes sense that Pola is taking her time, staying back for now. Letting Epona eat first, and then I'm sure she will come as well. She does like her food. So I was away for 5 minutes. We got Sachi in now instead of Epona. And here we have Chaim on her belly.
Cosimo is still with Pola in the other corner, but just look how content that little one looks when we get a little bit of a zoom in here. Almost got his little eyes closed there, happy with mom, and yeah, I think they're going to make a nice pair. So let's see how long these two stay together. Maybe this is the foster mom for this little one. Mr. Floki, our favorite. It's really tough with this little guy. What was done to him with his legs wasn't very nice, and the operations are quite a big thing. But we're just battling really to get everything right for him. Hopefully this operation will go better, and he'll have a bit better movement or stability in his leg. We are trying to give him as much exercise and things like this as we can, just to make sure it does have the best chance possible to come right. Of course, it's not nice having him in a small little cage, but he's not allowed to have too much movement, although looking at Mr. Floki there, he's not really behaving himself much and jumping around. He's supposed to be taking it calm. but you try and explain that to him, that he should be taking things easy. That's just not in Mr. Floki's vocabulary. But anyway, we're doing our best. We're trying to get as little movement as possible, doing massages every now and again just to make sure everything's in the right place, which he's starting to enjoy. And hopefully he'll be back out and looking after some of the youngsters and having a good time again. So doing physio has become a part of Floki's day-to-day routine, and very important just to make sure his legs and everything are moving properly.
Big delivery of cucumbers arrived. Of course our whole troop were quite happy about that until we moved them.
It is a very big day for these guys. We had Skunkey with Daisy Mae, who just pretty much downed her whole milk bottle. Roddy, Kappi. He kind of doesn't drink normally. He chews instead of drinking, but he seems to be getting milk, so it's fine. And Gio getting into milk coma. It's a big day because today they're going out of the door. The moms are already very excited. Yeah, they're gonna go out, meet the rest of the troop, explore the new grounds. Hopefully everything will go smooth. Hopefully they will not jump out. They will not climb the fence. They will be perfect little angels. Yeah, big day. Oh my god, Gio.
Doesn't matter. So we're out to release the Skunkey babies. Roddy, Kappi, Gio, Daisy Mae. But we're a bit held up as we're waiting for the fence to be fixed. So the electric fence around the enclosure, obviously we want to make sure it's working when we release the babies. So we're just waiting for that. But once it's set, we'll start to let them out. So we're looking for the babies to be carried out. So we want the adult females to lift the baby, and then we'll let them out. We won't let the adult females out alone or the babies out alone. And it means we can now do a bit of active integration. So we'll allow other adult females to come in. If they want to pick up a baby and take them out, then we'll let them do that. Hopefully it won't take too long to get all four out, but we'll just see see how it goes. We stick to those procedures, so it just depends who turns up and how long it takes, but I imagine it'll go pretty smooth. And Roddy. So they've been in here for about 5 weeks now with Pan and Martha, 2 adults from the troop, and as you can see they pretty much know it's release day, so they're all at the door waiting. And it shouldn't be too hard to get at least the first couple out, and then we're hoping that different adult females from the troop will come in and take another one. So we'll see how it goes, but we're just waiting for this Spock, the oldest male from the troop. He's very protective of the babies, so we're just waiting for the fence to be fixed. We've got a slight issue with it, it's not strong enough. Once that's fixed, we should be good to go. Is that Mags? You can just let her in. No, or not.
Some of the females really don't like being inside the intro cage, and as you can see, they try to open the door and get themselves out. Unfortunately, we can't let them out unless they've got a little baby hanging onto them, otherwise the babies get stuck behind. And then you get those on the other side that really want to come in, and they sit there waiting for the opportunity and start pushing the gate open from the other side, but don't fully come in. They just want to make sure the gate stays open and see if they can let their friends out.
Okay, here we go. One out. We've got Pan with. Can somebody see who it is? Is it Kappi?
It is Kappi.
Okay, we've got Pan out with Kappi. Oh, not great.
Well, Pan's managed to pick up Kappi and come out with a little Kappi, but we still got the others two stuck inside there, jumping up and down and screaming. They're not too happy. So it's very difficult to get everybody out with a good mom all at the same time. So we'll just have to see how things go. We've got to be a little bit patient. Pan's still sitting around there having a look and say, what happened to you other two? Why didn't you follow me? So we'll just have to give it a little bit of time, see who else we can get in there, and hopefully they'll come out with another mom, or Pan might give a kid over and say, okay, she's going back to fetch the little one. So let's just see what happens.
Someone keep an eye on Pan, please.
What did she say? Yeah, we're gonna have to split up.
Yeah, that's not good.
Gonna have to
Also,
split.
Diane, Martha out and Max picked.
Oh yeah, let them go. Okay, we got another one out. Max has got
There you go.
Roddy. Wait, no, who's that? That's Daisy Mae and Gio.
No one. Max has Roddy.
Yeah, if you go to the bottom one. Thanks, man. Whoever you see. So we've got Pan out carrying Kappi. We've got Mags, who's just in the distance in front, who's just taken out Roddy. And that means still left we have Daisy Mae and Gio.
Got Martha and little Daisy Mae poking her head out. With male Winnie in the front as protector, and then Martha's giving her sister Pom a little groom. Also got Paradise and Renee here in the bush. Renee and 2-year-old Orphan. So it's very difficult to find all the babies, to keep track where they are at all times, because it's such a big troop, such a big enclosure, and with lots of grass. So having people spread around all the sides and shouting to each other when we see babies to keep track of them. So far everything's quiet and calm. Everyone seems happy. Like, where's Mom? Left us behind.
Does this happen often, do you know? Or is it normal?
I don't know.
Yeah, so glad I managed to get that in. Just trying to be aggressive.
So it's a bit hard to see, but up here in this cluster of trees right here, you can hear the baby screaming. Right now we're in the stage where we're just monitoring, walking around, making sure that everything's okay, that they get used to the electric fence so they don't accidentally touch it. We've got a few people around. You can see Ben off in the corner over there, stationed around the enclosure to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the fence, and that we're able to turn it off in case the baby does accidentally start to climb it. There they are. I'll try not to.
Yolanda does enjoy looking out of the window and just seeing what's going on in her
Would you like to
surroundings.
narrate?
It hasn't been easy on her. It's not nice not having friends to play with. But unfortunately, with the
Here we've
fracture in
got
the
Daisy
arm, we
Mae.
couldn't take chances. It's the same as little Floki. We need to give them
And
chance
Gio is
to heal because
cuddled by
monkeys are quite
Pan
rough in their
back.
play, and it could
Bunch
just
of
cause
monkeys
further
here.
injury.
hanging out, escaping the hot lunchtime sun.
Well, here we have little Yolanda, just a little bit of an update on how she's doing. As you can see, she is getting around very, very well. I'm not too sure if you all remember how she arrived. It was quite a while ago, in about the 2nd of December. Her mother was killed by a car, and she was found on the roadside with multiple injuries. Her right shoulder was dislocated, as well as her hip out of the socket. And as you can see, she is using her legs and everything like this very well without any problems at all. Our biggest concern is basically her little shoulder. Dislocations are very, very difficult to get right in monkeys, and especially to try and secure them. So it's basically been a matter of securing the little arm every now and again, and then giving her a little bit of freedom of movement, so that we can just make sure the muscles and things like this are still developing, and everything in the arm is still growing as it should be, because you must remember these little guys grow at an extreme rate at this age. So it's very important that we keep an eye on things, but also we can't keep her totally bandaged up, otherwise the arm's not going to grow and probably won't become functional. We're not too sure if there was nerve damage or anything like that in the little arm either, so we have to watch out for that. She doesn't seem to be using it, but every now and again she does put a little bit of weight on her arm, which is a good sign. At the moment we're keeping her in a little room on her own, so this is one of the a little cabin that we've got. And we can't let her play with other monkeys, unfortunately, because they could put more trauma to the little arm. So unfortunately, she has to be on her own, and little Yolanda has to entertain herself. As you can see earlier on, she got hold of her little syringe. That's the one that they're using to give her rehydration and stuff with. So fortunately there's no medication in there, but just as naughty as any other little monkey. running around, being mischievous, grabbing things while you're not looking, and it does keep the caretaker entertained. We do bring in some natural forage for her every now and again, and some small little seeds, so that she does practice foraging and things. She loves staring out the window and trying to see what's going on, and watching what's going on in her surroundings. You can see there's a little milk bottle. I don't know if she's too happy with it because she seems to just chuck it away, and so I'm not interested in that. But a lot of time she spends looking out the window, seeing what's going on with the other monkeys. So it is kind of difficult having her stuck on her own, and I'm sure she misses having her friends around. But it is vitally important that she gets as much chance to get this little arm to come right as possible. It's the same kind of situation with little Floki and his leg. They just need that time to build up the ligaments, get the ligaments to get some strength to hold everything properly in place before they start playing with the other monkeys in the area. So about 3 times a day the little hand also gets massaged just to make sure there's blood flow and feeling going through, and just to help her a little bit. So it's important with these little guys that we do give them a little bit of physiotherapy every now and again, just to make sure that there's decent blood flow, and to try and get the usage of the little hand as soon as possible. So there is certain periods that she'll be sat down with somebody and they'll be rubbing her little hand and just making sure all the fingers and everything like this are still moving. And we also try and give her little things to try and pick up, but of course she's just not ready to do that. Hopefully that's going to start soon, and hopefully she will gain a little bit more movement in that hand than she's got at the moment. Well, this is little Yolanda all wrapped up again. So just to make sure the little arm is secure. So as I said earlier, we do this every now and again just to make sure everything's nicely in place. So normally if she's going to be very active and things like this through a lot of times of the day, we'll actually secure the little arm so that she doesn't use it. Although, as you say earlier on, she did have a time to run around, so it's an on and off thing. The bandage also gets done about 3 times a day just to give her a little bit of a breather, make sure there's proper circulation, and that everything is going well. And then of course it's secured to make sure the ligaments and everything are holding it decently in place. And so far it looks like things are going well, but with this only time will really tell.
You look like my dad.
Tell me you're filming, right?
So, this is how we're gonna get it done.
Parents are a good method of teaching. Anyway, so.
Yes, Papa.
Okay,
I can't answer.
So, we are making some milk feeders.
Okay,
So, here's one we made earlier, so you can have a good look.
very nice.
The basic instructions are we are making 2 rings. One large and one small. Okay?
Yeah.
Then we are taking some chicken wire. we are wrapping it around the bottle, like so. Then we are attaching the large ring on the outside and flipping the wire in.
Okay.
And it's exactly the same with the small wire at the small end and the wire in.
Okay.
Brilliant. Ignore I'm not here.
Yeah, so good.
Obviously you've both been filmed before. Don't look at the camera.
Oh, not too close. See all the faults.
No.
Second one.
Apprentices.
A weird camera guy.
Yes, we're filming each other.
No,
Yes.
not the tears.
God.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Just what we.
So this is Pan. She's carrying Gio, and they're out for the first time. And it's day 1 on their release. And even though it took a little bit longer, they're now out. And they're in a very big tree, as you can see.
Here we've got little Gio with Pan and Punam and Renee. And he is very happy to be with Pan. He won't let anyone else carry him without complaining. So all of the babies the whole afternoon have been pretty hidden. Just in the center, not really coming out. The females are probably also extremely excited and didn't even come out for main feed so much. So they actually also still haven't drank from the feeding cage. So tomorrow we'll have to see if we can get some extra juicy fruit and stuff like that to them so that they get the hydration. But at least they are very well accepted by the troop. Here's Renee, big sister. And there hasn't been anything like them trying to jump out of the enclosure or getting super scared. Everything's pretty peaceful and calm, so that's good. There's Reggie coming up to him. She's also been in the intro cage for a little bit, but wasn't calm enough to stay in. She clearly likes babies. Roddy and Kappi just went into the feeding cage for the first time. Behind all the fence.
Another one's coming. Is it Gio?
Oh yeah. So they were hand fed today through the fence in the morning because they wouldn't come to the cages yet. But here they go. Big boys.
Foster mum Pan waiting outside patiently, and then Paradise Alpha female on top. There you can see from left to right is Roddy, Kappi and Gio. Try not to disturb them too much, but you can see, so it's just Daisy Mae. So this is the 10 o'clock milk feed that they're having. Kappi still tends to chew the teats, so you can see the second one along, but he does get milk out, although slowly. As the others do suckle properly. A little bit too much wire on this cage to be able to show you properly. It's all for safety. We don't worry so much about aesthetics for them, but for safety purposes they've got chicken wire and so on, so we can't see so well, but at least you can get the idea that they're having a nice drink, which is wonderful. We always wait in anticipation for the second day that they have a big drink. We don't want them to go too long without milk. But these ones have finally grown up and learnt where their feeding cage is in the troop. And it's a very large troop, this, so they're very clever to be able to find it. And we've got Button there on the right, and Pan on the left. Pan's still waiting patiently outside for the babies. Male Rocky walk past. There's Gio just gone out, had enough, and Roddy's there. So he's got purple on his shoulder for volunteers to help identify him. And then Kappi's decided he's had enough too. There's Gio going back over to Pan. There's Roddy in the distance with Jambi. And she's carrying him away into the troop. And then it looks like they're going to go up a tree. Yep, there they go.
Well, sometimes it's just nice to see them behaving like normal little monkeys would do, running out in front of mom, coming to see what's been dished up for food for them to eat. And look how brave these little guys are, right, leading the front of the race, out there on their own, checking out again if everybody's following them. Mom's there in the background keeping an eye on them. But yeah, it's really amazing. It's so lovely to see something like this.
There's Roddy and Kappi with Pom. Pan behind, and Jeffro, of course, always there. Kappi still rides on Roddy's back. So Roddy will be the strongest monkey in this troop at some point. Roddy and Kappi are in the feeding cage right now, having a good drink while Pom is waiting outside, trying to get them back out to safety. She's very protective over them. And then, yeah, it's all relaxing here. So it's going very well. All are drinking. The troop accepts them, protects them, loves them. Just trying to pull their tails. No, they do need their milk. Here comes Button. She wants to go back to those times where she was small enough to fit in there. So she's 2 years old. Daisy Mae, Gio hopping, and then Roddy and Kappi are here. We've got all 4 babies in one spot. Daisy Mae is sprinting towards the feeding cage. Needed some backup from Gio. She's not so sure about this. Pom coming after them.
It's also one of the things we've got to be very careful of is sometimes the moms don't let the little ones go into the feeding cage even though they want to. I don't think this little one was too desperate, but as you can see, she's getting close to the feeding cage and then mom sort of picks her up and runs away. So we have to keep an eye on that and make sure there is a period of time that they do actually go into the feeding cage and get milk, and that mom's not always taking them away before they get there, especially in the very hot heat that we have here at the moment. So it's also a lot of the food that we're putting out has got a lot of water content. We're using cucumbers and things like this, which we are fortunate to get. So it has got a lot of moisture in it, just in case, because you have to be very careful that these little guys don't get dehydrated. Fortunately, there's a lot of vegetation in this enclosure. It's quite a large enclosure, so there is places for them to stay in the shade, and hopefully they'll soon learn to escape from the moms like some of them do, and sort of get their milk on their own.
Roddy. He's with Mags. Gio and Daisy Mae with Pan, and one of last year's orphans, I believe it was Punim.
Little ones learning foraging techniques from their moms. This is also a very important thing for them to see what the other monkeys are doing, especially their mother, and slowly they'll pick up this kind of behavior and learn what to look for. So when she finds something, you'll see how interested they are to see what it is.
Renee, Gio, Pan, and Daisy Mae. Here comes Alpha Female Paradise. Pan making space for her.
It's always nice to see everybody foraging together. Sometimes it does help with the vegetable matter staying there a little bit longer than normal, because they get other little insects and stuff that help break it down. And the monkeys also like eating these little insects, so that's why you see them lifting up the grass and looking underneath to see if they can find any little bugs or things like this, which they also like eating, and gives them the protein that they need.
Kappi getting a groom from Pom.
Alright, the sun's just gone down as well, so it's perfect time to get some photos. Right, I'm gonna go and make up some dewormers.
Thank you.
I think on her second brunch. I'll probably just bring them over, bring them down at second lunch shift. So I'll wait in there half an hour. Bye.
Bye.
What's up? Alright, see ya.
See you later. Max grooming Gio. Saw something.
It's always good to see that when a cry goes out for something, some danger or something, that they all run to their moms and jump into their mom's arms. So that's a very, very important thing. They're not just running in any direction. They're actually going where they're supposed to go. They're going where they know they're safe. And now they've realized that their foster mom is safety, and that's the best place to be. Some of you may remember Jethro. Jethro was the one that took little Rocks under his arm and became foster dad. And Rocks was the one missing a little leg, which we were very worried about initially. But of course Jethro sort of filled in and took over. And of course Rocks is doing very, very well today. And Jethro's always interested in protecting the little ones, so you'll always see him nearby, just standing guard to make sure everything's going well with them. So a very nice male. It's not something that you often see, that the males show interest in the young ones, but Jethro is just one of those guys with a very kind heart, and he's around just to make sure things are going all well for the little guys, and that they're not going to get themselves into trouble, and just protect them from everybody else. Paradise just coming over to see how things are going with Jethro, just to make sure that he's not getting the best food while he's on his watch. Sometimes the female monkeys can be kind of funny that way. They don't want the males getting the best part of the meal and just popping over to make sure Jethro's eating what he's supposed to be eating. Little ones in the background eating some cucumber, so it's good. It's a lot of liquid inside there for them as well, so if they're not getting enough in the feeding cage, at least the cucumbers are going to provide some fluids for them as well. But everything looks fine. They're very, very healthy at the moment, doing very well. They don't seem to be struggling at all, and I think these two have been in and out of the feeding cage already, so things are going very, very well. It's so nice to see this integration, how it develops. It was a lot of little babies going out into this enclosure more or less at one time. So for it to go so well was fantastic. Nice to have been there and witnessed it and seeing how it's going, and just to have a look at these little ones and see how they slowly progress with the rest of the troop as they get involved and get accustomed to everybody.
Okay, how's the Disneyland babies doing today, Connie?
Really good. We have 4 very playful, very energetic boys in Disneyland at the minute. We've got Mini Max on my shoulder here. He's actually gaining some strength in that leg of his and is doing really, really well, very playful with the others. Still just assisting him with his climbing a little bit so that he's not pushing it too much. We have teeny tiny Zeb, who's not quite so teeny tiny anymore. He might look it compared to the others, but he's actually getting really nice and big and chunky. We're starting his feeding cage training because that's really the only thing he has left to learn before he's ready to meet a mum. And then we have Momo and Sky King. We've got Momo up here. He's really getting a lot better at accepting comfort when he needs it and being comfortable with the other monkeys. And Sky King has been so playful. He's really helped everyone sort of come together and get a little like brotherly atmosphere here in Disneyland. So they're doing really well, getting ready to meet mums.
So just a reminder that Connie is the VMF baby mum, and these are all orphans. They're not pets. They're just in human care for a short period of time before they meet their monkey foster mums and can be rehabilitated into a wild troop.
Wow.
There's nothing quite like spending a bit of time with the little ones and just seeing how they're enjoying themselves and playing like there's not a worry in the world. There's no past that they've had or anything that they have to worry about, and just playing with each other. And sometimes it's just nice to sit here in Disneyland and just watching these little guys having a good time.
So cute. Momo and Mini Max? No, Momo's up there.
Momo's climbing. Let's get Momo climbing. Little Zeb. Being cute little Zeb. Hey. And the other guys are playing around by the feeding cage. So that's Mini Max and the new guy, Skylord. Sky King? Sky King.
Skylord.
And they're actually all best friends, which is really nice.
Mini Max, of course, we can see still not using the leg fully, but at least he does put weight on it and every now and again, which is important, and hopefully he will get full movement back in the leg. Zebulon and little Sky King testing each other out, but they seem to be getting on very well. Of course, Sky King's just arrived very, very recently, so it's nice to see that they've made friends very, very quickly, and he's sort of become part of the little group now. So he's not feeling so lonely or left out or anything like this, with a whole lot of friends to keep him company.
Here we have Momo. And Zebulon. Here we have the other three. So Minimax, Sky King, and Momo. This here is Minimax. There is Sky King. And there's Momo. Momo's this one. This one here is Minimax. Here. Hi Zebulon. Momo. Zebulon. Sky King. And Minimax.
So I've just heard the Sandy mobile. And I think Sandy has a little present for us.
Face.
Oh, the sun.
It's a little boy.
Look at this, another boy, wow.
I know, many, many, many boys. Maybe about 6 weeks. Been drinking a little bit on the drive here, but not a lot, so we'll try to get some more into him. Apparently, pooping and farting a lot on the way here.
Pooping and farting? Wow.
So it's been a fun car journey. But he seems quite sleepy
Sounds
now.
like somebody's blaming babies.
Yeah, guys. He's quite chill, quite calm.
Do we know any background?
Yep, I've got the full story. He was found, and then he was with a family for 4 weeks.
Okay.
After the 4 weeks, he was then handed over to a lady last Monday, who then handed him over to us.
Okay. So he's just found alone?
Yeah. I think his mother was killed.
Okay, how? Do you know?
She didn't say.
Didn't say. Oh no.
Oh, little munchkin. Well, we've got lots of cheeky boys for you to become friends with and play with.
Mm-hmm.
And you're ready for a new playmate, huh? I know. Shouldn't get you inside. Yes? He seems in alright condition. His butt's a little bit raw because they had a nappy on him.
Of course.
And he's maybe a tiny bit dehydrated, but not much.
Yeah,
so.
car journeys are not much fun, are
Yeah.
they? Huh?
Gone real
yeah, a little bit pale.
Yeah. I'm sure we can work him up
Yeah,
quite
absolutely.
quickly. Okay.
All right.
You're gonna come to my cabin.
Have fun.
See you later, guys.
See you later.
See you in the morning.
Well, this has been another one of those amazing episodes, just watching these integrations, just being able to see what's going on, and these little ones getting their new homes, their new moms, and finding themselves in the world is just fantastic. So I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Thank you everybody out there for supporting us and making all this possible. We really do appreciate it. Thank you for always contributing, sharing, getting other people involved, and letting others know what we do. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you again next week.